We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY, New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
Welcome back to the 365 Driven Podcast. We're broadcasting live on 91.1 FM, The Boss. And we've got the entrepreneur lineup going again strong. Our guest now is Nelson Morales. Nelson is a professional speaker and a success strategist. Nelson,
Yes,
welcome
Tom.
to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your passion on this subject.
Well, really, the passion evolved with corporations. Actually, it applies towards individuals or corporations. Most corporations have a process in place which includes policies and procedures and ways to get things done. But one of the biggest aspects that they're missing is the emotional, the mental, and the physical connection with their employees. So, yeah, you have processes to try to improve performance, and every time they bring a new idea in place, it says, well, we have to do this. But where they miss the mark is actually in getting engaged with the employees internally. And that's where the problems really begun. So they wonder, well, why can't we make the last 75% of our progress? They always seem to get so far and they get stuck. Well, it's because they're not addressing the internal issues. Let's face it, all companies are made up of individuals. You have to address the individual issues in order to get better performance out of people.
Absolutely. These processes tend to be generalized, and they just think that there's a blanket statement that's going to cover everybody, and they don't realize that each and every one of us has individual motivators,
Correct.
and the bad leaders just don't really tap into those, do they?
That's correct. Because here's the thing, and this is what we discovered through studies and through actual practice going into companies like Intel and Shell and Exxon. They all have the same problems. But it boils down to this. The better a person feels and thinks about themselves, the better they will perform. So how do you address those things? You have to make your people feel very important, okay? And that's through the communication system of the whole culture in the company. Now, remember, this works for individuals as well as corporations, and we address it the same way for individuals. But again, getting people to feel good about themselves is the best way to do it, because let's face it, most of the information that everybody receives every day, is it positive or is it negative?
It's negative.
It's very negative. So they carry this into work every single day. So how do you deal with that? Now you're at work having to do a positive thing for the company, but you're burdened with a whole bunch of negative things.
Absolutely. You touched on the word culture. That's huge for organizations. Most of them
Absolutely.
think it's just a checkbox that they
No.
put a few things on the wall and then everything solves itself. But explain your
Well,
version of that.
the culture has to be something that's followed from the top to the bottom. Everybody has to be in the same page and the same idea.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that just because behaviors are the same or that the ideas are going to be the same. As you know, most companies have different departments. You have your sales department, you have your accounting, you have administration. When we go into these companies, we notice that the culture, everybody has their own little culture with their own departments.
Silos.
But who has the idea of how this progress should work? It should be the administration at the very top, starting from the CEO. He should set the idea and then plans moving forward that affect every single department and makes every department grow equally, so everybody can be on the same page.
Awesome, Nelson. Well, if people want to work with you, how they find you online?
The best way to find me is through my website, nelsonmorales.com.
NelsonMorales.com. Thank you. So
Thank you.